With regards to mining, I urge business, organized labor, and government to continue engaging constructively. Everything we do must be designed to strengthen and stabilize the sector and ensure that it serves all stakeholders, the investors and owners, workers, government, and the broader society. I will travel to Japan this afternoon to attend the Tokyo International Conference on African Development with other African heads of states, and also undertake an official visit to strengthen relations between Japan and South Africa. I will continue to receive reports on progress made in the interventions with mining companies and labor. I intend to meet sectoral leaders when I return to take the matters forward. I must emphasize that we are encouraged by the positive sentiments towards South Africa in recent investor surveys, which will contribute to increase investment. We will also continue to enhance our strengths, which the recognized worldwide. These include our infrastructure development program, goods and market efficiency, financial market development, technological readiness, business sophistication, and innovation. Only last month, South Africa was chosen as the offshoring destination of the year for 2013 by the European Outsourcing Association. This confirms our status as a leading business process outsourcing destination of choice. Last month, we also announced a whopping 10.2% increase in tourist arrivals to our country for 2012, while the world average increase was at around 4%. It is worth noting that in 1993, South Africa received a mere 3.4 million foreign visitors. By 2012, the figure had grown by 300% for 13.5 million visitors, of which more than 9 million were tourists. This is an outstanding achievement for a country that was once a pariah state. We urge South Africans to support government, business and labor in the current processes and complement our work by promoting the country in every possible way. This will help to boost confidence in our successful young democracy. Working together, we can do more. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'd like to invite questions from the floor. Please introduce yourself and say where you're from.
All right, so that's President Jacob Zuma holding a very special media briefing on the economy, specifically coming through on the mining sector. Let's just go through some of those issues that have been tabled today. He started off by talking about ensuring that the economy does grow with the initial forecast for this year of 2.7%. This comes hot on the heels of the fact that the World Bank has downwardly revised our growth to 2%. South African National Treasury also talking about 2% growth. And President Jacob Zuma coming out and saying that we've got to ensure that we keep that growth rate by focusing on our six core sectors, that being the likes of agriculture, mining and manufacturing. Here are some questions that are being posed to the President right now.
I will not be operational at bookkeeping level. Thank you very much.
Congratulations on the increase in your tourist business. How much more do you think you could increase that if there wasn't all the negative images coming out of South Africa with regard to police brutality, police shooting miners, police corruption? I wonder how much more of an impact you could make across the world if you managed to knock that on the head.
While it's difficult to estimate, particularly because much as with all of those factors we have just mentioned, South Africa is leading in the tourism attraction in the world. Because I think South Africa, given its history, given its democracy, very attractive, what is happening, and even the incidents that we are talking about, there are very few, you can count them, than what used to happen during apartheid, because they were a daily occurrence. I think people appreciate that there's been change in South Africa. That indeed is a place to go. In fact, many. There is a story told by, I think Steenberg was giving a lecture recently about South Africa, an account given a man who came from prison, who was arrested before elections in 1994, who gives in detail how much when he came out, he thought this was a different country altogether. And he gives an account of many things. I think much as there are challenges, as we have just mentioned, but the fact of the matter that South Africa is making a lot of progress, and that has been indeed, in a sense, finding a good platform in a democratic country, because the fact that people hear what is happening in South Africa is because of openness, because you guys are not intimidated or stopped from reporting. I mean, you don't get reports from other countries at all. So that's why there are no news from other countries. I think the very openness that South Africa has makes people in the world to know exactly what is the situation in South Africa. I think we have a good story to tell. Perhaps we rank among countries who are leading and have good stories to tell.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
John Herskowitz from Reuters News. John Herskowitz from Reuters News.
Oh, okay.
Mr. President, at the heart of the labor issue is the turf war between Noon and AMCU. What can the government do to end this turf war, and can the government be impartial, given that so many top officials in the ANC and in government have close ties to Noon?
And of course, as I said, that I asked the Deputy President to engage. He's engaging everyone. We are very neutral when it comes to our dealings as government with what is happening in the mines. He's meeting, for an example, NUM. He's also meeting AMCO, as well as NACTU, where AMCO has now affiliated, as well as COSATU. So we are not meeting others and not others. I don't think the government has taken any stance that takes sides when it comes to how we relate to the miners or labor organizations in the mine. The fact that COSATU is in alliance with the ANC has never made us to fail to deal with things properly and fairly without choosing political friends or comrades or whatever. We deal with matters very appropriately. We are, for an example, engaging AMCO, particularly because we believe there is an established labor relation and framework in the country which has made the unions over the years to be able to interact with management. The points we are making is that we should not have a new tendency wherein these are not respected. Well, that's a problem if these are not respected. You cannot allow the unions, for an example, to engage on the white cat strikes, which are, some of them, not necessarily strikes that could be termed as legal strikes. So these are the matters we are dealing with. We appreciate, for an example, that AMCO may be a new union that is trying to grapple with these issues, and that's why we are engaging them. We are not taking side at all. That is one element, by the way, that tends to portray the mining industry as if there are big problems in the mining industry. Strikes are a normal thing in a democratic country. It is only in undemocratic countries where there are no strikes. And I don't think we should take strikes as a problem, because workers are necessarily, in democratic countries, allowed by law, by the constitution, to go on strike. And I don't know why in South Africa strike should be portrayed as a big problem, because that's a democratic exercise. Those of you who travel abroad, I'm sure, in a number of occasions, either in Paris or in London, you come in, they say the flights are disturbed because there's a strike. Well, that's a feature of democracy. But I think in South Africa, we've got our own history, how we handle things. And in South Africa, we have a highly organized labor unions. And these are matters I think we are dealing with. As I said, we asked the Deputy President and ministers to engage both management and the unions, is actually to address those issues. That let us deal with matters within the framework of the law and the Constitution. And this is what we are doing. We are not taking sides in any way.
News that moves. eNCA.com.